Now it's time to put in the snaps. I want to show you the layers that we're going to use here. We're going to set aside one piece of the PUL. I need to put the right side out, and then when you flip both pieces over, you'll have the shiny side out. So you'll put the fabric side of the PUL against the wrong side of your outer fabric. Now, like I said, the outer fabric that I chose, it's actually stretchy. Ooh, that's pretty cool. It's actually stretchy only one direction, and the direction just happens to be vertically. So it's stretchy this direction, and it's not stretchy this way. Oh, not very stretchy that way. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and back it, just in case. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up. Make sure it gets perfectly lined up. We have the outside of the Minky facing down, and we have the shiny side of the PUL facing up. And then we're going to grab this other little piece here. We're going to face it shiny side up as well. Now the reason I typically just grab the pattern, lay it on here, measure everything, and start poking the pin in there, marking the snaps, but this is going to move around a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and sew it along this top edge, and I'm going to sew in the seam allowance. So I'm going to sew just a little bit closer to the edge than I normally would, so that later when I add this other piece of PUL, it'll be just, that new stitching will be just to the inside of the first stitch that I do. So I'm going to go ahead and seam along here, and that'll just keep these three pieces together. I don't normally do that because it can cause rippling when we put the snaps in, but I think this is going to be really squirrely fabric to work with, so let's go ahead and sew it down. I'm using a walking foot for this part because the PUL, it has kind of a rubbery texture, and it will stretch if I use just a regular foot. Oh, I forgot to stay within the seam allowance. There we go. Stand pretty close to the edge, try not to stretch any of the parts. Just tacking it down. Actually, I'm going to extend my stitch length to 4, just in case I want to pull this out later if it ripples. Alright. Nice big stitches across there, except on the left side. Back over to the snaps. Alright. So now we're going to lay our pattern on here. I only stitched the end closest to me, the front of the diaper. This is the only section that I sewed. So just want to make sure that that's going to lay flat. Now, this pattern does not have all of those rise snaps that we saw in the previous videos. So I actually just need the waist snaps. It looks like there's 12 of them. It'd be pretty easy. Let's grab a regular ink pen and just start marking them. I had poked holes earlier with my ink pen. That is so that that same ink pen will be able to poke through those holes and write on the plasticky, on the shiny side of the PUL. Now what we'll do is grab our owl, grab our snap pliers and, sorry about the shaking, grab our snaps. I like to dump out the snaps so I can see what I'm grabbing. It should be enough. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do a few, just in case you haven't watched the other videos, and then I will snap my fingers and it will be done, because I'm going to skip ahead so you don't have to watch them all. I'm just going to cut the threads. I'm picky about the threads, I think. I like to start in the middle and work my way to the outside. In this case, because this is stitched down, I'm not going to start here and work my way that way, because if I do this one first and it bunches, then it'll have like a ripple and I won't know what to do with that. So I'm actually going to do these two, then these two, then these two, and work my way that direction, just in case it ripples. That sound good? So let's just line that up, poke the hole with the owl. Hope I'm saying that right. And then poke this pointy part in there. If you need a tutorial on these snaps, I have a video that shows about the snap assembly. I'm gonna do the top row in studs and the bottom row in sockets. It's just how I usually do it. If I do it the same as the way I normally do it, then it will keep me faster and hopefully I won't make a mistake. Occasionally I will stick the wrong snap on and have to pull it back out. The only way to get it out is to break it, as far as I'm aware. Somebody somewhere will correct me and then I will be enlightened and it will be life-changing. But for now, the only way I know of is to break it. Grab another stud, because I'm just doing this top row, and smash it down. So now you just watched me do 2. I'm going to go ahead and do the other 10. And the top row is done. Alright, now all the snaps are put in. Well, all the ones on the front anyway. We can't do the ones on the tabs until we sew it together. Now I'm going to set that aside because we have not cut out our big gaping hole for our flaps yet. So what I'm going to do after I clean up my mess here is I'm going to go ahead and mark it on my pattern so that when I get the right shape, when I like the shape, I can go ahead and just reuse it over and over, that same design. I did that on my OMMO. Let me show you. Sorry about the shaking. See, this dark line right here, that was the line that I drew. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on this pattern. Give me just a moment to find a marker. Alright, let's measure. Alright, our elastic casings are going to be about 1/2 inch. And let's see. Our seam allowance is about 1/2 inch, I would say. Maybe a little bit less. 1/4 inch, I'm not sure. And then our casings are another 1/2 inch. So let's go in 1 1/4 inch, because I don't want to not have enough like I did the last time I made this pattern. And I'm going to go 1 1/4 inch all up the sides of the pattern here. This is 1 1/4 inch is for my pattern. I'm working with a Babyville newborn pattern, and I just want there to be enough fabric to actually sew the casings. But I want there to be a hole so that when baby pees, it goes into the soaker and not onto the PUL, because we're going to have the fabric side of the PUL touching baby. I don't want the other side. Let's see, 2.5 maybe, 3. Let's do 3. I can always change it later. 3 at both ends. Okay, we're just gonna make that look like a circle there. Do the same at this end. Kind of fudge it just a little bit. What do you think? Alright, I think that'll work. Well, let's go ahead and make it dark so we can see it through our PUL. And we'll use this same pattern, if it works out, for all 7 of our 7 diapers in 7 days. Let's go ahead and cut our PUL, and I'll move on to the next video so these don't get too long. See how you can see that big dark line I just drew? I'm just gonna... This diaper pattern is so little. It's really cute. There we go. Now just cut that hole out right there, and I'll show you how to start sewing it.